Okay, now we will go through how to log in and use Cometracker on the computer side. So first we will find Cometracker on the desktop and a simple double click to open it. And it will ask you for login information. There's a username and a password which is written down for you. We will type that in here. Is that right, with an S?
Mm-hmm.
And it will take some time. It'll load up the map function so we can look at where the phones and where our trucks are located and moving around. But it will pop up on the default home screen, which is the dashboard. This dashboard shows all of our foremen and all of our phones, the last date that a GPS reading was taken, and it does calculate speed based on basic physics principles of distance over time. Landmark if they're at a customer's house that we have programmed in the system. It'll show the name of the house they're at. More importantly, you'll want to look at this: the street address for the reading of where they're located, their city, state, zip code, etc. So this is the basic information to find out where our trucks, where our equipment is. Now, to look at and to edit time entry, we'll click on the bottom left of the screen, single click, left click on management, and under all these fields we will click on time entry, single left click. And it will automatically pop up to today's date, and it will show the actions of what went on of the clock in and clock out and on break, off break of all of our crews in the field. We did Rogelio Rico as an example as our foreman and his 3 main crew. So now we will go through and edit our information in case we have mistaken entries or incorrect entries. And a better way to view this for the clock in time, if you right click on clock in and look for where is it? Best fit, all columns. That way it will show all the information. It shows Rogelio Rico, Jaime on his crew, clocked in at 12:54 p.m. today. And the little plus arrow shows the information on his break. Now let's go ahead and edit Jaime, because it shows he was clocked in at 12:54 when in reality he really clocked in at 6:30 a.m. this morning. So to edit this, we'll right click on Jaime's name, select edit. Now an edit window pops up on the right hand side of your screen. And it shows the clock in time, the date of today's date, January 14th, 2011, at 12:54 and 9 seconds in the afternoon. So we will simply change this using the keypad or using your keyboard and change that to 6:30. And we'll change that to the morning since that was, I'm sorry. Oops. Let's do this again. There we are. And using the up and down arrow, change that to AM. And you'll do the same if you need to adjust an incorrect clock out time. Now to edit breaks, if a crew clocked in for lunch too long or too early, we can edit that by going to the breaks tab within the edit window. Click on breaks. It'll show all the breaks for this current day. And in this case, Jaime was not clocked in and out for an appropriate break. So we will now change that. We'll have to add a half-hour break. We do that by scrolling to the bottom finding a green plus sign, and as we hover our cursor over it, the label add pops up. So we will add a break time. It automatically puts in the date, today's date, so you'll never need to change that. And we will set a break time of whatever you would like. They should have been on break from 11 o'clock a.m. and ending till 11:30 a.m. Now if we click on this gray square, it will do the math to make sure I've done this correctly. It shows a break of 0.5 hours, a half an hour. That is exactly what we want. So when we're finished, we'll click save, and it now enters that half-hour break in. Now for your example's sake, if we have an incorrect break entry where a crew, a foreman, put someone on break when they shouldn't have, we'll take this entry here, 0.02 hours. There's a break that should not have been there. The way we get rid of that is back at the bottom. Next to the plus sign, there's a red minus sign labeled delete. We make sure that the break we do not want is selected. We click on delete, and of course it double checks to make sure that's what you want, and we click yes. Now that break is gone. So that is how you edit break times. You go back to the General tab, and it shows all the mathematics, all the information of when this employee of Jaime was clocked in for the day, the time he was clocked out, his break duration, and the total duration hours that he will be paid for. And when we're finished, we move our cursor up to the top to look for a disk with an arrow above it. When we hover our cursor above it, it's labeled as save and close. We will single click that. It will then ask us, would you like to save before closing? We'll click yes to save it. And now Jaime's information has changed on the time entry page. Clock in time of 6:30 a.m. Clock out of 12:59 p.m. That equals a total of 6.5 hours. He was on break for a half hour, and a pay time. He'll be paid for 6 hours of work.